All right, so it's about 20 minutes after 5 a.m. The sirens woke me up again. Woke me up. I haven't been sleeping. Um, the sirens went off again at about 5 a.m., but it was a false alarm. There were no missiles. Um, Before that, the sirens went off and the missiles were falling straight from 3 a.m. till 4 a.m. Here in the greater Tel Aviv area. I'm in Bad Yam, south of Tel Aviv. Um, this area is home to around 2 or 3 million civilians, depending on how far you draw the circle around the metropolis. Um, this began in the Tel Aviv area last night at 8:45 and stretched until 9:15 p.m. And so I'm shooting this video from the bomb shelter now. I just like to remind everybody that firing upon civilians has been illegal in international law for over 70 years, since World War II. Um, and now for a couple of days, the Arabs have been firing rockets against civilian populations in Jerusalem, the greater Jerusalem area, and today in the greater Tel Aviv area. Um, and this is unprovoked. This is not because Israel went into Gaza and started bombing places or doing anything. There's nothing happening. There's nothing going on. Israel has not done anything whatsoever lately. This is just out of the blue. This is just unprovoked. Uh, and the only reason Israel can buy time and not invade Gaza right now as a response to all these missiles, the only reason Israel can buy time and not do that is because of the Iron Dome technology, which was developed in conjunction with the US military, with research and development done by the Israeli military establishment, which basically uses high tech and high expense technology to shoot missiles out of the sky, basically detonate them high in the air, um, so that, okay, yeah, then it's dangerous when the pieces of missiles still fall to the ground and they can still do a lot of damage, but they've already been detonated, so there's no explosive. But when those pieces hit the ground, it's hardcore. You feel it, but there's no explosive. And obviously, if it lands on a house or a vehicle or an office or a business, there's a lot of destruction, even though the explosive part of it has already been detonated in the air. So I'm hanging out here in the bomb shelter, and I just got a text message from my landlady out in the village. So I came here to Tel Aviv a couple days ago to spend a few days here in prayer. And back in the village, there's no rockets falling there, but she's asking, what is wrong with us? We need Putin here. We need Putin to lead this country and take care of this problem. This is ridiculous the way that they can fire missiles on us and we don't do anything. The situation is that if Israel behaved like Russia in this situation, there would be World War III. There would be mass condemnation against Israel. What Russia can get away with when they invade Crimea, or when they attack Muslims in their country, nobody really bats an eye. Nobody really cares. Nobody really gives any serious condemnation against Russia for that. But Israel does the slightest thing to lift one little finger to defend herself against Muslims or against Arabs, and the whole world is on Israel's neck, complaining and crying and getting all. It's a threat. It's a real threat. And it's anti Semitism. If what's allowed for other countries to do is not allowed for the Jewish state to do, then that's anti-Semitism. And that fits the international definition of anti-Semitism. Look it up. Um, so I, I'm normally a light sleeper anyway, but this has been ridiculous. I did manage to get some sleep after the first missile. I hadn't gone to bed yet. I mean, as early as 9:45, but after 9:15. But I did get to sleep before 10. But then when the missiles and the sirens started going again at 3 a.m., I woke up and I tried to sleep through it here in the bomb shelter. Didn't sleep, didn't really sleep at all. The missiles stopped at about 4 a.m. I still didn't fall asleep. 5 a.m., the sirens started up again, and there were no missiles at that point, and there still aren't now. But it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to get back to sleep. Um, I'm not under a lot of stress. I'm not under a lot of fear. I put my trust in Elohim, the Most High God. Um, it's just on a good night. If I wake up too many times and there's no problems going on, I still won't be able to get back to sleep. It's just the way it is. Um, eh, what I'm what I'm concerned about is, and what I'm praying about is the fear that other people are experiencing, the danger that people are experiencing, the damage to homes and lives and businesses and vehicles and pets. This is a civilian area. People have not been trained to deal with military operations in a civilian area. There's grandmothers and grandfathers here. There's people with small children. This is a civilian area. People don't have the training to be able to deal with this. This is not, a whole bunch of, young military trained strong men that are hunkered down here. This is civilians. This is civilians. This is a blatant violation of international law. You don't fire missiles and bullets and you don't blow buses up in civilian populations. This is not allowed. This is not civilized society. And the reason that the Arabs can get away with doing this so much against Israel is because the world just doesn't care. There's no outcry, there's no outrage, and watch the news. You'll see the news now, and so there's missiles falling in Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem, and you'll see that on the news. But the minute that Israel responds, and Israel is probably going to have to respond at some point here, they can't wait forever. But once Israel does respond, you're going to see the condemnation start. And that's the problem. That's the problem. There is a lot of double standard, and it's basically anti-Semitism. So when the scripture says in Psalm 122, pray, it actually means ask. Inquire about the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love Jerusalem. Love Jerusalem. Continue to love Israel. And continue to inquire about Israel's shalom, about Jerusalem's safety. Continue to inquire. It shows your heart when you do inquire. And when you continue to ask the Father to protect Israel and to protect Jerusalem, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Keep us in prayer over here. Thanks so much.